Hi, everyone. This is Bill Holton, and this is Field Trial Central Live. It's a special Sunday night edition. This is, well, maybe we'll call it the Field Trial Central News. Um, just kind of wanted to get on and give a little update. We've had a few trials going on. They've been going on for a while in the grouse woods over in Michigan. Uh, Pennsylvania's had a few trials, and it's really tough for me to keep up with all of those results. Not because I don't follow them; it's just you don't get all of the names, dogs registered names, everything right away. So I'm hoping that as some of these trials end, that the you field trial chairman could just drop me an email or send me a message with those results, with the registered name, so we can get everybody recognized properly. I'm going to do the best I can to chase down results from all of the championships. And, those aren't the only important field trials that are happening every weekend. I know there was a great trial that happened last weekend in Kansas, run under the Southern Bird Hunters Association banner. And I obviously try to get all those results and updated on the Field Trial Central Facebook page. And I'd like to talk about some of those here, and we'll get some of those handlers that are running those trials in these, in some of these interviews too, as the season goes on. But tonight, I guess I kind of wanted to, just get a kickoff of this little segment of the show. We won't be real long. We'll get a chance to talk about a couple of the trials that happened here recently. We'll talk about a little bit, what's coming up in the future. And as as the season keeps going, these will get pretty busy. So, the thing we always want to just kind of point out, this obviously is going live on Facebook, live on YouTube, but they'll be stored there for all time. So make sure you share these to other people, so they kind of get an idea of what we're doing here at Field Trial Central and what's going on in the field trial world. With that, I guess the first thing I'd like to talk about is the first major trial that has been happening every season over the last few years, and that's the National Amateur Pheasant Shooting Dog Championship. The Pheasant Shooting Dog Championship runs out in Circle, Montana. The Big Sky Field Trial Club does a great job putting it on. They took it over. I can't remember how many years it's been going on out there. It's, a dozen year, or I don't know, maybe 10 years now. But those guys do a great job. They got great grounds, great birds. Obviously it's it's an all wild bird trial. They have a real nice supply of pheasants, sharptails, huns. It's just a really fun venue, and they have had some banner entries over the year. They've had some that have been down a little bit, but always a really quality field and a really good field trial. This year was no exception. Here's your results from that trial. The National Amateur Champion was Touches Diamante, owned and handled by Austin Turley of Montana, and the runner-up was Emelita, a pointer female, also owned and handled by Austin. Austin does a great job getting those dogs ready, getting them, around wild birds, and they always seem to be in birds, and they do a nice job. So that's not the first time Austin's won this trial. He's done a really good job out there. The dogs have been, are developed in that country, and they're really good wild bird dogs. And so he's continued his ways there. It was nice to see they did have an entry of 27 dogs. Here in the, if you're looking at this later down the road, you kind of think about, what was going on at that time. Obviously we've got the COVID-19 pandemic going on, but clubs are doing a pretty good job. They're getting the word out that trials are happening. I think people are trying to do some pretty decent jobs of social distancing and wearing some masks, and obviously the sport itself kind of lends itself to social distancing. So these trials are going to happen. I think we're going to lose some throughout the season, but you can see that they're starting to happen right now. So that's awesome. 27 entries. There were 17 pointers, 7 setters, 2 Vizslas, and 1 short hair. Judges were Tim Schilleruff and Alex Rickert. So, real quality steak, and congratulations to Austin. and congratulations to the club to putting on another nice national amateur championship. That trial is followed up every year by the Montana Open Shooting Dog Championship. Prior to the championship, they do run a derby, the Montana Open Derby. This year had 12 starters. Here's your winner's picture here. Freddie Rail took first and third. Trigger, a pointer male, was first, and Amos, a pointer male, was third. And Brian Gingrich got second with a pointer male, Mason. And I'm sorry I don't have registered names on all those dogs, but these are dogs that you'll probably see having some success down the road. So congratulations to Freddie and Brian and the owners of these fine young dogs. But then obviously as soon as that got done, then you had the first championship, Open Shooting Dog Championship of the year. And the Montana Open Shooting Dog Championship also runs in Circle. This year had 48 entries. And this year's winner was Grand Prairie Thrill, owned by Max Stedham and handled by Tommy Rice. Tommy's had some good luck at this trial the last 3 years, I believe, and he's doing pretty good. Obviously, Tommy comes out and spends some time in northwestern South Dakota getting ready for the whole season. So he's obviously doing a good job getting ready for this trial. And I'd heard that that dog had done a really nice job as the trial was going on, and obviously it was a performance that held on. Runner up here was Emelita, back from her winning ways from the National Amateur. She got runner up for owner and handler Austin Turley. So congratulations to Austin. Congratulations to Tommy and Mac. That's a great field trial to win. It's a good start to the season. Obviously, like I said, there was 48 entries. That's a pretty good quality stake. 35 pointers, 6 setters, and 7 Vizslas. Judges Alex and Eric Mock came from Oregon. This is the second time that those guys have been over in Circle. These are two obviously very experienced, well-respected judges, and did a good job. I did hear that Alex had a little horse wreck, and I think he's okay, but he did take a little bump on the head, and our prayers go out to Alex, and everybody remember these things can happen awful fast out here, when you're going across the prairies and on a horseback. So those are really our first real big events of the year, and it's good to get some nice results. And congratulations to all those owner and handlers, and we expect to see some really good trials as the season goes on. So what I would like to, we've got some good trials coming up over the next week. I think, really the first big one that's going to start here in the Grouse Woods is the Northern New Hampshire Bird Dog Club. They run the Kilkenny Classic. The Kilkenny Classic runs every year, wild birds. And they drew 30 dogs. So it's, a good start to the season there, good quality stake. People probably not traveling as much all the way across the country, but that's a good solid stake. I look forward to see, how those guys end up, and we'll have the results of that trial next week on this show. So also coming up here in North Dakota, probably the first one will be up in the all-age stake. That will be the first major all-age stake of the year. This is obviously a little bit different. No trials going on in Canada this year. So the first major open all-age stake of the year will be at the North Dakota Open Classic, held up at Columbus, North Dakota. And then the Dr. Hawthorne Classic immediately following that. So I look forward to seeing the running orders there. I'm really interested. I think it could be a huge stake. I think it's going to be a really good quality field trial. No trials happening in South Dakota. No trials happening in Canada. I don't, obviously the wild card is who's all going to be traveling. I kind of have a little interest in maybe getting up there for a day or two during that trial. So I hope I and I hope I'm able to. And then right at the same time, we'll probably start the next day. Probably start about the 8th of September will be the All American Shooting Dog Championship that's run over in Carson, North Dakota. Once again, it'll be I would say a similar type trial than what we saw at the Montana Open Shooting Dog. So that's hopefully we'll have the running order and up on the site as soon as we can get it, and then obviously the results as soon as that's over. They do run a Derby stake along with that, and I should say that up in the all-age stake, there's 2 Derby stakes that will run in the open all-age stake there too. So a big trial coming up for the short hair guys. In Baker, Montana, the NGSPA Sharptail Championships. I think they run 4 championships there, 2 open and 2 amateur, and then a Derby Classic. So I was looking over the judging panel they got theirs. They got some good judges there, guys that I've judged with in the past. That'll be a fun trial. I think those guys are excited to get out there and see that type of country, and those dogs will do a good job. So I look forward to seeing the results from that, and hopefully next week by this time. Well, no, that'll probably be the following week, but those are the trials that'll be coming up over the future. I had a question here from Ben McKean, and Ben asked how many dogs finished in the amateur with birds at Montana, and I actually do not know the answer to that. It wasn't there. I had a little bit of report at one point, but I wouldn't be able to give a solid answer. If anybody has that answer, please let us know, and just go ahead and put it in the comments, and we'll have that. I do know one thing: the weather was hot during the amateur. I don't know I think the open may have got a little bit of a break and have it cooled off. It's really cooled off out here on the prairie right now. It's perfect running for all of the guys that are here. I think tonight we're looking at a low in the 40s, high tomorrow in the 70s, and over the next couple of weeks, I think there's just very few days that even have forecasts into the 80s as the days go on. So this is really prime time for getting bird work done, getting dogs worked on the prairie. So I think guys are really excited to see how the fruits of their labor over the last 4 to 6 weeks have kind of set them up for it. It's really fun now to keep an eye out there on Facebook and see what people are posting for pictures and videos of dog work getting done. There's some guys that really do a nice job of letting us follow along with what they're doing. Doug Meyer does a great job. We've been following him for a few years, and a few others. So here's a great comment. This will be kind of fun. Justin Wiseman says, out in Baker, we had a solid year for birds. The grounds they're running on hold plenty of birds. You can really show a dog. So that's exciting for the guys, the short hair guys coming out that direction. Justin's guy that's out in the country and seeing what's going on. We start talking about bird reports. I've heard pretty solid bird reports from most camps. Guys are getting a lot of work done. I think we had a good carryover for winter. We've had a good hatch, and now they're really starting to show up. So that's kind of what we've got going on. It'll be fun to see how these weekends go, or these first couple of championships, that get into North Dakota, how those end up going. I guess the all-age stakes aren't championships, but they are big all-age qualifiers for the national championship. So I look forward to seeing those trials. The other thing that I'll just throw out there that has been announced is Purina is sponsoring the Top Shooting Dog Award program again for the year, as well as the top all-age dog, top bird dog, and top all-age handler of the year. Those trials have all been just recently listed in the field, which trials are points trials. And so those are the ones that people will be putting on their schedule to chase those awards down the road. I don't want to get into the shooting dog awards a whole lot, except for the fact that I'll just say These awards are for the, really the top half of the this doesn't affect, us average field trialers overall, right? For the most part, we're just going to go to field trials and run our bird dogs. And if we get a really good one that can, compete in those trials, which we, a lot of us have, but we just don't get to enough trials to, compete for the points. So, I see a lot of stuff on Facebook where, people are thinking that's going to hurt the sport. How they're whatever they do when they're counting points, it makes very little difference in the sport as a whole. The sport as a whole is based on, your local area and the trials you can go to and get to the ones you can and working your dog and going and having fun. So, if anybody's out there looking at those posts and thinking, geez, this is just another reason why I don't want to try that. But, I do encourage everybody to get out there and go, work your dog and come to some field trials. Matthew Huston asked a question. Speaking of Montana, did it end up with 5 pros? I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was 4. So I think that's a point trial. When you look at the way the point system lies up, it'll count as a trial with 4 open shooting dog pros that were from last year's roster. We'll just have to see how that system works out. You surely cannot judge it based on looking at it from the future, right? You really have to let the system roll. Let those guys just go out and run their dogs, and most of them aren't going to be chasing points. They're just chasing each field trial as they can. They're going to head down the road, and they got another one in their sights, and as the season kind of progresses, they say, gee, so here's where I'm at now. Now maybe towards the end of the season, guys will start looking at where the points are. But for the most part, everybody's just, looking for working dogs today to get ready for that next field trial. And so that will be, those will be the stuff we're going to follow though, as the season goes on, because it's a scorecard for us as spectators, for you and I that are looking at what's going on out there and can't be at all the field trials. And then I guess that I'll say that as a plea to all of you field trial chairmen or people that have gone to field trials. If you're at a trial and you see something that you want to report to me, as far as who the winners are, get that information to us, and then we can share that and support these events and get these handlers, these dogs, these owners that are running, that have dogs on the open circuit, get all of the recognition they deserve. Matt Blair's got a question here. What is a good resource someone can look to learn about trials? I guess, it all depends on what type of trial you're looking at, Matt. If you're looking for a walk-in trial, I would say go to the NBHA website or the Southern Bird Hunters Association website. Those are good resources. They both have a good Facebook presence. You can, get involved with some local trialers there in your area and get a chance to, go to some local trials. That's the best resource I can ever give you. The American Field website has a list of all of the trials that are happening. And I'm talking on the American Field side. There's also the AKC, if that's, something you're looking towards too. And feel free to reach out. I can try to connect you with someone if you are interested in horseback trials. There's horseback shooting dog stakes and all age stakes that run all through the entire part of most of the country, and we can surely direct you in that area too. The American Field is a very good resource. And I believe that their website will get better and have more information all the time. There are there's a few good books out there, but most of those are real historical. So whether that's a great resource or not, I don't really know. Facebook, the Field Trial Central page, the Field Trial Bird Dogs page has got a lot of information. You get to see a lot of stuff coming up. So your very best resource you can get, Matt, is we can get you hooked up with another person. Find yourself a mentor in the sport, and get out there and learn. That's the best resource I can recommend. I don't see a whole lot of other questions, but I did kind of want to make this fairly short and sweet, and it'll get longer as the year goes on because there will be more trials to talk about. There's some real exciting stuff happening. In the grouse woods, it looks to me like all the trials are going to happen in Michigan. Looks like all of the trials are going to happen. As far as the grouse trials up at Gladwin, looks like the trials are going to happen over in Pennsylvania, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. This year they have the for people that are looking for grouse trials to run in this year, the North Country Shooting Dog Championship will be running in the grouse woods over at the Chippewa Valley grounds, as opposed to at the Namakagon Barrens on Sharptails. This year it'll be in the grouse woods. That is will be another great opportunity for people to go and run in some the premier grouse trial grounds in the country, as far as I'm concerned. It'd be a great year for people, in my mind, to make a trip from the east to the west and get yourself into the Minnesota Grouse Dog Championship. They have a $3,500 purse this year, and you can you got a chance to go to the two trials in Wisconsin at the same time. So, for some people that haven't made that trip coming from Pennsylvania or further east, for that matter, to the west, this would be a great year to do it. It'd be a lot of fun. So, with that, I think Greg Blair made a great comment. U.S. Complete, Cover Dog, AFTCA all have great Facebook pages, Matt. So there's some opportunity for you. With that, I guess I just want to thank everybody for coming out and joining me tonight. We'll try to do this every Sunday night. Sunday nights, I think, will be the plan. Could change to a different night as the season goes on, and as things get busy. Maybe I'll find that Sundays aren't the best time for this, but as of right now, I think that's my plan. Plan on coming back this week again. Have a great guest scheduled for this Thursday night for a Facebook Central Live. So that'll be Quentin Wiseman will be coming on. We'll be talking about the amateur all-age invitational that they started here last year and work going into their second year. So that'll be fun to talk about what their plans were when they got that started and what the plans are going forward, and how it's worked. Looked like it was real successful this year, and that's with a year that got kind of goofy with the COVID-19 pandemic kind of coming in here in the last part of the year. So that'll be fun. Quentin's a guy that's a lot of fun to talk to. We'll have a great time that night. So everybody come out and join us then. With that, Bill Holton from Field Trial Central signing off. Have a great night. Thanks, guys.